Uh, so let me quickly mention one more example of NOR 3. Okay, and then let's move on to the next topic. So NOR 3, we will draw something like this, like PMOS is in series, A B C, and NMOS in parallel, right? And at the output node, so first of all, this is of size 1, size 1, size 1. Okay, because I know that one of the path will be active for finding out the propagation delay, because we are interested in finding the propagation delay. Okay, and here the 3 transistors should be active. In that case, all of these transistors should be scaled by 3 times, right? So it should be like size 6, 6, 6. Okay, because the unit PMOS is of size 2. Now it's like that. So at this node you will have a capacitor 6C plus 3C, 9C. Okay, and each of these nodes will have a shared capacitance of 6C and 6C. Okay, it's like that. So once you have determined this, then you will go for calculating the propagation delay. And of course the fall delay is very simple here. Fall delay is nothing but one of the paths will be active and multiplied by 9C, so 9RC. Okay, and the rise delay, you have to apply the Elmos relationship, and starting from the VDD point, you have a resistance of R by 3 and capacitance of 6C, and resistance R by 3, capacitance 6C, resistance R by 3, and capacitance 9C. Okay, so the tau delay is nothing but R by 3 times 6C, then 2R by 3 times 6C plus R times 9C, is RC plus 2RC plus 9RC. So sorry, it's not RC, it's 2RC plus 3RC plus 9RC, 2R3 plus 4RC plus 9RC. So it is going to be 15RC. Okay, just verify this. So this is what you would get ideally, okay, when you try to calculate the propagation delay for a NOR 3 gate. So similarly we can go on do it for any kind of gates or any compound gates. It need not be a standard gate like NAND or NOR. It could be any kind of logic, and then you should be able to calculate the propagation delay. Okay, see, remember one important point is that so far I have not added any kind of load. Okay, meaning I am not using this NOR gate to drive any other gate. The idea is that there is no other gate that is connected to this output, which is acting as a load. All this delay that we are calculating is the inherent delay of this transistor itself. Okay, so this is the diffusion capacitance. This 9C, 6C, 6C, all these things are diffusion capacitance of the transistors of the NOR 3 gate. Okay, so the NOR 3 gate will have to drive its own parasitic capacitance, and that itself is contributing some kind of delay. Okay, and that is the rise and fall delay that we are talking about, and this is the parasitic delay. Okay, this I have mentioned earlier, but then it is important to remember all through the discussion. Okay, now so we are going to make some kind of an approximation, because every time dealing with lots of transistors with lot of diffusion capacitance is going to be difficult, because we are not bothered about accurate answers. We are just bothered about nearby values. Okay, so we'll make some approximations regarding this propagation delay. So before going to that, I want to discuss one point, right? See, first of all, I can go for NOR 4, NOR 5, NOR 6, or NAND 4, NAND 5, NAND 6, and NAND up to NAND n, right? And it will keep on stacking PMOS, at the top for NOR, and then or NMOS at the bottom for NAND, right? So how many transistors we can stack like that? Clearly, if you stack more transistors, you are going to have larger parasitic delay, because that is what we have seen. We saw NAND 2 and NOR 2, we saw NAND 3 and NOR 3. You only go and check for yourself that you see that the parasitic delay is keeping on increasing. Whatever you are calculating is a parasitic delay. Okay, and to give a simple idea, if you take a NAND N gate, okay, so you will have PMOS in parallel, you will have n PMOS, okay, VDD, and all of them are connected, and you will have n NMOS. This is, so NAND n will be having the logic, say if it is A1 dot A2 dot A3 etc. up to AN, whole y is whole power bar is y, and you will have this y, and here it is A1 A2 etc. up to AN. Okay, so you will have like this, and here also A1 A2 etc. up to AN. Okay, AN minus 1 will be somewhere here. Okay, and this is the NAND N logic, right? And what will be the I just want to explain, I just want to give a feel of what will be the parasitic delay. Okay, that's it. And parasitic delay here, the propagation delay itself is a parasitic delay because there is no load, because we are talking about the propagation of the output from VDD to the output, or from ground to the output. So there is no load as such, it's only the parasitic capacitance. So we will talk about the propagation delay, which is the parasitic delay itself. Okay, so let's see what will be the sizes. Of course these sizes are 2 only. Okay, so each of the transistor will offer a capacitance 2C, and there are n transistors, so the total capacitance offered by all of this PMOS is 2NC. Okay, so at this point 2NC will be the contribution from all of these capacitances, and there are NMOS transistors, each of them with size n, right, because there are NMOS transistors, and the transistor close to the drain will offer a capacitance NC. Okay, so it's 2NC and NC, so it will be 3NC here. Okay, and of course here it will be 2NC, sorry, this will be NC, this will be NC, and NC, NC, like that. Okay, so now let me calculate the rise delay quickly, which is very simple for a NAND gate. Rise delay is nothing but one of the path will be active because the propagation worst case, and that will offer resistance R, and R times NC is 3 NRC. Okay, so what about the fall delay? Fall delay, it's a little bit involved, you have to use Elmos relationship. Okay, so it's from the ground you have R by N, and then you have NC, again R by N, NC, and it goes on like that until you have R by N and 3NC, right? So if you try to write down an expression, okay, delay expression, you will have NC into R by N plus NC into 2R by N plus NC into 3R by N etc. plus NC into N minus 1 R by N plus 3NC into R by N. Okay, 3NC into R by N you will get. Sorry, 3NC into R. 3NC into R. Okay, so now, so I can clearly see this and say that my tau is proportional to n square. Okay, my tau is basically increasing as n square. That is what the delay is happening, right? So if I keep on increasing the stack for NMOS, I can always prove it for a NOR n, and then say if I keep on increasing the stack for a PMOS also, whatever I'm going to say is going to be valid. Okay, so if I increase the stack, then my propagation delay without adding any kind of load, remember that my propagation delay or the delay for the inherent gate, okay, the delay inherent to the gate, that itself is increasing as n square. So it's a wise idea not to stack more number of transistors. So it is always preferable to limit the number of stacks to certain number, okay, and it's usually number 4, okay. So you either have NAND 4 or NOR 4, okay. Even NOR 4 is not preferable because NOR is having more parasitic delay than NAND, okay, you might have noticed by now. So you limit the number of stacks to 4 or so, okay, and 4 is like when you cannot avoid, you go for it, okay. So something like that, and the reason is that you have more delay if you keep on increasing the stacks, right? Now so keep this in mind. Now let's make an approximation for the parasitic delay approximation. Okay, for that let me illustrate it with the example of a NAND 2. Okay, so I have a PMOS connector like this, VDD, and then NMOS stack like this, A, B, and this is of size 2 and this of size 2. So at the output I have a capacitance of 6C, right? So now of course I have propagation delay and contamination delay, and in each case I have rise and fall, and here also I have rise and fall, okay. Now the propagation delay is the worst case delay, so the rise propagation delay would be basically coming from one of the paths, so R times 6C, so 6RC, and the fall propagation delay is coming from this whole path, so R, and then you will have the another 2C here, okay. The fall propagation delay is coming from this path, so it will be like R by 2 into 2C plus R into 6C, which is 7RC, okay. And the contamination delay, as far as it is concerned, this is R by 2 times 6C, so 3RC, okay. And as far as this path is concerned, I am going to assume that the B input is always there, okay. The B input is always there, and then A arrives much later, okay. So this capacitance got discharged, and so this capacitance I will ignore, and then I only have 6C times R, that is 6RC, okay. So these are the delay components. This we know, we have done it earlier also, so this is something that we are aware of, right? Now what I am going to say is that you see, this is the unit NAND 2, okay. For a unit NAND 2 you have the NMOS stacks to be of size 2 and PMOS stacks to be of size 2, okay. So what I mean by unit NAND is the resistances are made, the path resistances are designed in such a way that will offer a value of resistance that is equal to that of a unit inverter path resistance, okay. So unit inverter, let me draw a unit inverter here. So this is of size 1, this is of size 2. So this will offer R, this will offer R. So I have designed this NMOS stack or pull down network stack in such a way that the total stack will offer resistance R as that of a unit inverter. That is why it is called a unit NAND gate. Now if I upsize the NAND gate, if I make it a NAND gate of size K, say for example, then it should offer a resistance of as inverter of size K, right? That's as logical as it is, okay. So if I make it size k, then what will happen? All the capacitances will be increased by size k, right? And all the resistances will be reduced by k. Okay, so all the capacitance, if it increased by k, then this will be kc, and resistance reduced by k, it will be k, r by k. So it will cancel, it will again remain 6 rc. Okay, and here also r by k into ck, they get cancelled, it will again remain 3 rc, and here also r by k, it will again remain 3 rc, sorry 6 rc, and here also it is r by k and kc, so they get cancelled, and r by k and kc, they get cancelled, it will still remain 7 rc, right? So what I am trying to say is, this parasitic delay is not at all dependent on the size of the gates or size of the transistors. Okay, if as far as it is NAND 2, either if I increase the size of the NAND 2 from unit NAND 2, or reduce the size, or it cannot reduce the size from unit NAND 2, but then if I increase the gate strength, okay, for a unit from a unit NAND 2, the parasitic delay will not be affected at all. Okay, that is the idea. And just for this reason, okay, this is the main reason that people, if you have 3 stacks or 4 stacks, of course the parasitic delay will not be dependent on the drive strength, but number of inputs increase, then the parasitic delay will be affected, right? But I don't want to go through this kind of calculation, too involved calculation from Helmholtz formula and all these things, and it is not affecting my propagation delay by a large amount. You see, because of this, if it is not considered, my fall delay is 6 rc. If it is considered, it's just 7 rc, only small difference. Okay, and remember, this propagation delay is just a constant number for a it doesn't depend on the gate sizing. So if suppose I design a gate to reduce the delay in the future, and the gate size, if I vary by some amount, this propagation delay will not be affected. So this propagation delay is just going to be a constant number for a 2 input NAND gate or a 3 input NAND gate, some constant number which will be added to obtain the total delay. Okay, when you connect your gate to some load. Okay, so it doesn't make sense to do too much of calculation. Of course, you learned all this calculation and all these things just to make sure, if you have to get involved in some kind of detailed calculations or some kind of in-depth understanding, then you can use it. But given that you know all these things and you want to have a intuitive idea about other kinds of aspects like propagation delay for connected to a load, and then logic effort and all these things, then it makes sense to leave away this subtle things and then go ahead with what is really important. Okay, so for that purpose we will make an approximation that we will ignore all the diffusion caps at the stack except for the ones at the output node. Okay, so in that case what will happen, this NAND 2 will be converted A, B, this is the output node. You have 6C, I cannot ignore it because this is at the output node, which is coming from 2C, 2C and 2C, A, B, and I ignore the capacitance here. Okay, in that case what will happen, calculate the propagation delay. Calculate the propagation delay. So rise, what is it, R times, one of the path will be active, so R times 6C is 6 RC, and fall, it is both the paths will be active, so R by 2 it will add, is R into 6C is 6 RC. Okay, so the propagation delay, or for a 2 input NAND gate, the parasitic delay, okay, because it's not driving any kind of output, so propagation delay is equal to the parasitic delay when it is not driving any external load. Okay, So in that case, rise and fall delays are the same. So it doesn't, you doesn't have to worry about what is the rise delay, what is the fall delay. It's going to be the same. Okay. So that is one idea we have as far as this standard gates are concerned. NAND 2, NOT 2, NAND 3, NOT 3, you will have equal delay. Okay. Rise and fall delay, and then contamination delay we'll altogether ignore. Okay, we'll not worry about that. We'll just design for worst case delay, that is the propagation delay. Okay, so this is the approximation, the parasitic delay approximation will make, and unless stated otherwise in your question paper or in your assignments, you need not worry about contamination delay or any kind of rise delay, fall delay separately. But if it is mentioned that use the Elmos formula to do this, do that, contamination delay, all these things, you have to do it. Otherwise you just have to calculate using the worst case propagation delay, and for standard gates they will be same, rise and fall delay. But there are some kind of compound gates for which it need not be same, and that time we'll when we discuss that, we'll take a look at all these things. But you should also remember that once you sit and work all these things out yourself, you will have an idea what I'm talking about. Okay.